Hi everybody, I am Lady Stars and Fire, and today I'm in my sanctuary. That's why I call the business I run our magical sanctuary. I don't show the sanctuary very often, but this is my place, my little place for connection, for my wholeness. And today I'm making this video. See, if you don't already know who I am, I work in healing, I work in energy, I'm studying to be a shaman, I'm an empath, I'm a medium. And part of my job in service is to help others, especially newcomers, start to understand and find their way. So that's part of what this video is. This video, I'm going to be talking about our gifts and evolving and how great that really is. But I'm going to start off with empaths. See, I'm going to start off with empaths, but even more importantly, I'm going to be starting off with what I call the newborns. Now, the newborns really, all that means, honey, is that all of this spiritual energy and being an empath and gifts and whatnot, it's new to you. That's all. That's really all that a newborn is, other than you're new to this. Doesn't mean anything else. It doesn't have anything to do with your strength. It doesn't have anything to do with your lack of connection or your great connection. It just means you're newer to this. And then you come into your gifts. That's it. See, I'm making the video today because I was told to come out with maybe a little bit of information on our gifts and evolving and moving forward and empaths. Maybe we just don't really know, or we hadn't put together, or we hadn't noticed, or in some cases maybe we just forgot. Now, being an empath, everybody in this world, as far as I'm concerned, is an empath. Now, if you're connected and you have your connection starting, that's a different story. But everybody in this world has the ability to be the empath. And the reason I say that is, excuse me, there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. When you sympathize with somebody, it's an I'm sorry. Basically, you sympathize, you feel for them. You don't feel of them. You don't feel the emotions. You feel for them, not of them. And there is a difference there. And see, everybody on this planet has the ability, when they listen to music, to want to dance and feel good. Or to have those songs that bring you down and make you cry and release and let go. That's because somebody else out there already figured out what you couldn't figure out. And you connected with it. And that's why it was important to you. And that's why it became so important. And that's why you could finally feel it. That is an empath, honey. It's that simple. Having those, every once in a while we come across movies that bring us to tears. That is an empath. Somebody wrote that movie, but you felt it so importantly that it brought you to tears. It made you joyful. It made you sad. That is an empath. There's a difference between sympathizing and actually feeling. Now, with me saying that, the struggle comes typically when you haven't discovered yet that you are the empath. And until you discover that, and you start to admit it, and claim it, and own it, you're not going to evolve. You're not going to move up, and you're going to have some problems with some of your situations. I'm sorry, I am. That is how part of it works. Because we have to understand we are connected and have that wholeness before we can start to evolve. It's that simple. But see, what I'm being told to pass on is often Spirit speaks to me in symbols or other languages. And the first thing that they're telling me for empaths Let me back up just a second. As far as I am concerned, I don't care what nobody else tells you. In this world, an empath is the very first and foremost important gift you can have. Because without being empathy, you are sympathetic. And until you start to realize you have an empath ability to connect and understand and feel others, you cannot understand oneness. You cannot understand wholeness. And that is where you start to mature and grow and evolve. But you have to go through that first and understand it and the ups and downs of it. Then, let me go back to what Spirit was telling me. I have to take notes because I can't remember everything. Spirit was telling me the first thing that they gave me is, like I said, they speak to me in symbols, is Isa. Isa means stop. Self-mastery. As soon as you start to come into that you are a newborn or that you have gifts in any way, shape, or form, stop. Self-mastery. Then I was given, and I'm sorry, I probably am pronouncing this wrong, is Reish, R-E-I-S-H. It's a Hebrew letter because they speak to me often in Hebrew. And each Hebrew letter has a very important meaning behind it. It looks like an upside down, backwards L. Or it looks like the number 7. That means a lot. But let me go back to what the Hebrew letter means. It means the art of clarification. That says a lot right there. As soon as you start to realize you are connected and that you are, in fact, picking up other people's feelings, needs, thoughts, actions, pain, and you start to come into this oneness and realizing that, oh wow, you have this gift, and I don't really know what to do anymore with any of this, and I'm confused. Am I me? Am I you? What am I feeling? Because that's what's going to happen. And as you start to get into this, the first piece of information that Spirit is giving me to help you understand is Isa, stop, self-mastery, Reish, like I said, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the Hebrew letter right, art of clarification, and then it also looks like a number 7, and 7 means obstacles that are becoming overcome, and the success is now becoming realized. That's a lot of learning right there in those few little moments of realizing, okay, I'm an empath. So what do I do now? How do I take care of this? Another thing that goes with Reish, the Hebrew letter, is one of the more important parts that people overlook. See, when you start to come into this oneness, this wholeness, this empath of feeling others and all of the confusion that comes with it, even though it is a great thing, because deep down that means you are a healer. But you've got work to do before you get to that. Anyway, it means that one must first become shaken before one can start to understand the oneness, that wholeness, and come together with what is considered the hand of God, or knowing of God, your creator, the universe, however it is you choose to see what is considered God. It's understanding right off the bat that you're gonna be shaken so that you can come to understand the universe is in you, that kingdom is in you, and only you created how you see fit. But first thing is, you're going to become shaken. And that's where the whole empath and the beginning of it becomes so hard. See, because there are people out there who think that empath is a bad thing, and it's not. It really isn't. It's the teacher. It's the healer. It's a wonderful gift. But You have to come to learn to understand it. That self-mastery, that art of clarification. And after you start to get through that, that's when you start to realize what a wonderful gift it is and the healing that you can bring. Because an empath is all about healing. See, what most people don't realize, the empath is a mirror. It's that simple. You have just become a mirror, honey. A mirror. What does a mirror do? It mimics what it sees. It shows you what is on the other side of the mirror. It shows you what it is reflecting. So when we think about that, the law of mirrors is simple. It's going to show you. It's going to show you what others' perception is. The way that they act is going to come out. And typically, way we see people and we see things and the way that they are acting is their own mirror. But for the empath, it's deeper than that. You become the mirror itself. You are the reflection at the same time as you are viewing the mirror. So it goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's like a mirror. Just keeps going on and on and on if you keep putting mirrors in front of it. You have just become that. And that's what you need to understand. See, in my shaman training, in my shaman teaching, one of the most important things that I've come across that they teach us is, just like Rish says, the Hebrew letter, you will become shaken as you start to learn of that oneness, that wholeness, and the hand of God, that being together with God, that oneness, the universe, the kingdom within you. You are going to become shaken. And that's part of what shaman has taught me. It has taught me also that, see, the darkness out there and all that negativity, it actually serves a purpose. Its purpose is your evolution. In one part. It's there to see if you've got the endurance and the sacrifice to evolve, to move on. Or can they just keep you shaken and scared enough to keep you from doing so? That is so important. When you start to realize you've become the mirror of the world, of everything that is around you, and you see it, and you feel it in your heart, in your mind, you're hearing the thoughts, or you're feeling the way they are because it's changing your thoughts, that starts to really take a change. And it can be difficult for especially newborn empaths to understand and find that shielding gift, which I'm going to go over with you in just a second. But the mirror itself is teaching you so that when you evolve, you can start to become that healer. You need that mirror at that time. But you don't need to have the mirror on all the time. And you are given the ability to create as you see fit. See, what you need to realize too is the left side of your body. The left side of your body is your feminine side. It is your creative side. It is also your side connecting to spirit. And those pains that come into that, not all pains, because sometimes we just are sick. But sometimes these pains you get on the left side of your body and stuff, your ears, your elbows, your arms in places, I mean, your knees, those are all communications from other people. That is your mirror. It is inside of you. That is oneness. See, and you're not going to move on until you start to realize this. That is part of it. It is also quite simply as a mirror. I had it happen to me just the other day. I had to deal with a lady who was just so angry and so upset and so mad at the world and everything around her because she's having such a rough time, that I found myself with no reason at all becoming so angry. See, it's emotions, it's thinking, it's picking all of this up. That wasn't me. This is what I'm talking about. you are going to start to question, is this me? Am I feeling them? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I nervous all the time? Why am I nauseous? Why am I angry when I have no real reason to be angry? Blah, 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 all of these different things. That's part of being that empath. That's part of understanding. But that's where the self-mastery and that clarification comes in. It's needed. So that you can understand, you're not mine. They are. And only you can choose if you're going to allow that to be part of your life. See, like I said, the left side is your spirit side. The right side is your ego side. And as you start to learn more about yourself and healing and stuff, you'll start to understand what these different areas on the body mean. Because you'll start looking into it. But until then, that's not quite as important. Because you will evolve to that. But you're not necessarily there at this moment. One of the most important things that I can tell you about being the empath, being that connection, starting to move into wholeness is, I'm sure you've heard it before, the storm says you can't handle the storm. But the warrior says, I am the storm. That's coming into your power. That is coming into understanding the oneness that is inside of you. The gifts that is inside of you. The kingdom that is inside of you. The universe that is inside of you, baby. It's about being able to tell the storm, I'm not afraid of you. I am the storm. It is power. It is believing in yourself. It is finding that kingdom and believing it. It is knowing that you can find your place in the eye of the storm. That world out there is the eye of the storm. And you pick up all of the emotions everybody has. All of the emotions, all the pain, all the feeling, all the confusion, everything. And you need to know how to separate that. That is where the power comes in. That is where the shielding comes in. But see, it's more important than just shielding. Like I said, it is finding your place upon the eye of the storm. Because you're going to be in it. Your place upon the eye of the storm. And then, seek the roses, but beware of their thorns. It's that simple. Seek what is good, and beware of what isn't. That's all. Seek what is good, and beware of what isn't. See, spirit, as a medium, when they start to work through us, and they teach us, or they're giving us information, one of the things that you need to understand, which links right back to what I just said, is spirit cleans out our thoughts, our energies, our emotions, or as an empath, they clean out what we're picking up from others when they communicate, because they replace it with what they want you to know. Whether it's hearing, whether it's audio, whether it's, like I said, whether it's hearing, whether it's viewing, whether it's seeing, whether it's feeling, they replace what they want you to know. So what they do is they clear out you, and then they put themselves in. Now, that's hard to understand if you're not a medium. But let me give it to you in a different way. See, you've heard it said before. You've heard it said by Buddha. You've heard it said by Rumi. You've heard it said by Jesus. They're your biggest main known teachers. I don't care what religion you are. They are your biggest known main teachers. And they all said, you can move mountains. That's a lot to think about. You can move mountains. But that's where you need to start. Just simplify it back down to a smaller form. Don't think about mountains. Think about Small things like removing everybody else's energy in you. See, because when people first find out that they are an empath or that they're starting to get gifts, they tell you to ground, center yourself, and create a shield so that you can stop letting people's energy in. And that's all fine and good. People create a bubble and they think of themselves in light until they start to evolve and move up in the gifts. And that bubble don't work anymore. And then they create a different one and a different one, and they change their ways, or they stop making a shield altogether and they stop grounding. And that is not good, because you cannot retain all the energy that comes to you. You can't. You're not meant to hold it all. You're meant to have them at times. Can't have that much. The more evolved you get, the stronger you become, the harder that becomes. And the reason I'm saying and bringing you back to the fact, Remy, Buddha, Jesus, all said, you can move mountains. And spirit cleans out the human being when they're communicating and they put themselves in. Why can't you? It's harder to grasp because I'm speaking of mountains and I'm speaking of spirit taking out all of our energy and putting it back in. But think about it. If you are an empath and you can feel all these other people's feelings and you can feel their emotions, their anger, their love, their happiness, their sadness, you can hear their thoughts. Some of us do. You can feel their pain. Why can't you move a mountain? Why? You already had so much other impossible stuff that you're already finding out you can do. You see, this is what I'm trying to get through to you. You can do anything once you start to realize the oneness and that it is all part of you and you are creating your own reality. The mountain right now that you only need to be concerned with is moving their energy out. It's that simple. If a spirit can do it, and if Jesus and Remy and Buddha all is telling you the same thing, why can't you? Why can't you move the energy out? There's a reason behind that. Power is not what you think it is. Power is understanding that nothing is more powerful than a person who is in their spirit. A person who claimed it, who owns it, and who acknowledges it, and has started to pass those tests that the dark energies give you of trying to see if you have the energy, the sacrifice, the endurance to be able to own that power and evolve. It's that simple. You're being tested. That's how you move up. That's how you start to evolve and move into actual healing gifts and other wonderful gifts. But it starts with those testings. You will be shaken before you start to see and understand the kingdom. Before you are starting to find the universe that is inside of you. Before you start to know the hand of God. Or the creator, or the universe, however it is you see fit to see it. The reason I'm telling you this is because that's how you start to learn to move into healing service. That's how you start to move into service and understanding what an empath is, and all gifts move you up into healing, helping, evolving. Then we start to hear, as we start to get into this more and more, how different people tell you of their enlightenment or their awakeness or their gifts, and they're moving up and they're evolving, and there's different dimensions, and how many different dimensions, and I'm, at this status or at that status. Status means nothing, honey. Status means nothing, because you can move up and you can have many dimensions going on inside of you at one time, because the whole point is to be the dimensions. Not to be in them, not to be status of them, not to be a part of them, but to actually be them. And this is what you're going to start to find as you start evolving, as you start moving up, as you start passing the tests that are being given to you of seeing, do you have the sacrifice and the endurance to understand how to do this empath gift? If you do, then we'll give you another. And then we'll help you move up. but you're going to earn it. You're going to have to learn how to do it so that it's helpful to you and not harming to you. This is why they tell you to shield. But see, when you start to truly evolve and you move into those dimensions, the shield's no longer necessary, because you start to find that kingdom's in me. That universe is in me. God is with me. The creator, the universe in with me. I can create reality how I choose to see fit. So therefore, all of this that I am receiving that is harmful to me, stop. The key there is believing in the kingdom in you. If you can't believe in the kingdom in you, you're not going to get past any other things and move forward into that oneness. See, it's not about listening to your mind anymore. It's starting to be about your heart ascending up into knowledge, then communicating with your brain. Your heart telling your brain, no, we're going to do it this way now. That is coming into the healing that is meant to come with the empath and all the other gifts. The gifts are given to you for oneness, for wholeness, and you already know it exists because you couldn't feel everybody else's emotions, pain, thoughts, feelings, unless there was oneness. See, that's why it's the most important gift. It's the first link into understanding everything. And without knowing that the empath feels everybody and everything and all of the good and all of the bad, sometimes all at once, and that you need to know how to stop, self-mastery, and clarify. Then you can start learning how to use that in healing ways to turn your mirror around and help them find what they need. That's why you're a mirror. And this is why I had to come out today. A lot of people don't understand that the empath is the mirror. The empath is the mirror reflecting back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until you turn it off. It's that simple. You have the ability to turn it off so that you can simply find your place in the eye of the storm and seek the roses along the way. But beware of the thorns. It's really that simple. Spirit is not about trying. That's where a lot of people get this wrong. We try. We try to understand. We try to figure out. We try to do. Spirit's not about trying. It's about doing and knowing. And you already know it exists. Because you're an empath. It's that simple. It's not about trying. It's about knowing. And once you start knowing it in here, everything else will start becoming so much easier. And you can create it how you want it to be. I don't want to feel everybody today. No. I don't want to feel the pissed off person who's angry and who's starting to make me mad at everybody in the world because I'm mirroring them. No. I want to have it. Not in my reality. It's all part of knowing. That's when you don't need the shield anymore because you are the shield. Just like the saying says, the storm whispers to the warrior. You can't handle the storm. The warrior whispers back, I am the storm. Just seek the roses along the way. Beware of the thorns. I love you. I wish you so much love. I hope that you come along okay. And a lot of people just end up looking me up on Facebook. If you have questions, I'm always there to help if I can. Or you can always check in at my website, LadyStarsAndFire.com. I wish you so much love. Hugs and kisses. Bye, everybody.